Whether you're thinking about quitting your job, starting a side hustle, or just curious about the realities of being your own boss, this podcast explores the possibilities of being unemployed for a living. Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Unemployed for a Living. I'm Ken.
I'm
That's
Cory.
Cory over there. And hey, Cory, I wanted to bring up here first right off that this podcast is also on the audio side. I don't think that we've mentioned that yet, but it is up on all the major platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon. Yeah, we got it. But shout out to Elena, the that messaged us and said, hey, when are you going to put up the episodes? Are you going to do that on the audio side? And we had already started that. We had a little glitch with that with the Apple podcast because for some reason Apple has to make everything difficult.
That's not true. They're just making sure it's quality before they accept it. I don't know how we got on, but
but Elena reached out to us and then did some testing for us afterwards to make sure that it was working. So we appreciate that. Long time listener. And so we're going to get right into our topic today. Last week, we were discussing kind of the decision making and risk tolerance of maybe starting a side hustle or starting your own, full business on the side. Maybe I did notice in the comments a lot of reoccurring theme of people that went into either maybe more than a side hustle, but their own business. A lot of that is on the reseller side doing reselling because they had a unexpected unemployment. Job was downsized. They were unemployed. Something happened that they no longer had a regular 9 to 5. And
that is the worst way to go.
Yes, it is for sure. If you don't have that opportunity first to build on something, if you already have that traditional 9 to 5 job. And so we started thinking there's a lot of people that maybe don't feel, maybe they're at a 9 to 5, they're thinking about doing something a little bit different, but they don't think they have the skills. Either they don't have the skills or they just lack the confidence to jump into a side hustle or a full business to get out of that 9 to 5 life.
Or they just don't know what they would even do if they decided to do one. They have no idea where to start. That's kind of what we're going to dig into today.
Yeah. How to kind of figure that out. And I guess there is kind of, a misconception that you need a bunch of skills, not really a misconception, but that you need skills and experience already to be your own boss. And
I think the misconception is that you don't have those skills. I think a lot of people have skills they don't realize are marketable skills. Am I saying that right? Skills.
Marketable. Yeah, exactly. And every job that you had, everything that you've done, if you've done something around the house, if you've done something where you've helped somebody out or those are skills that you can turn into some sort of a side hustle. And it's just having that confidence to do it, that confidence in the skills that you do have, even if you didn't think you had some.
I think the biggest challenge most people have, I think, is identifying the skills they have. I talk to a lot of people that are just I wouldn't even know where to start. I'm not good at anything. And they actually are. They have a lot of skills. I mean, a skill, if you can go up to somebody in the grocery store that's a stranger and start a conversation and have a good conversation with a complete stranger, that's a skill. Everybody has skills. They just sometimes don't know how to identify them. And if they do identify them, they're not sure how to apply them.
Cory does not have that skill.
But I do have a skill related to that.
Which is?
I am very good at shutting down a conversation. I am very good at making people go the other direction.
Can you market that though? Can you turn that into some sort of a side hustle? I can think of
probably 3 business ideas for it just on this show.
What does your shirt say?
It says occasional adult.
Occasional adult. That is appropriate.
Which is kind of works against me because people see me wearing shirts like this and they're like, "Oh, nice shirt." And then they want to talk, and I'm like,
You should just see. Look, I'm straightforward, plain solid shirt guy.
Your shirt says, "Leave me alone."
That'd be perfect for you. Don't. What I seen a shirt tonight that said, "Sorry, uh, sorry I'm late. I really didn't want to come. Was the
Is that why you're always late for the podcast?
I want to be here. I'm excited. I'm excited about this new direction. Um, but one of the things that we were talking about is starting your own business, your own side hustle, your own something out that is. I think people lack some of that confidence because
You're right.
You have to learn. You have to learn as you go. It's not that you're an expert from day one in any of that. Whether it's you might be an expert in the chosen direction that you wanted to go, but not in how to turn that into a business
I think
opportunity or a side hustle.
That's a good direction for this episode. If you watch this episode to the end, hopefully by the end of this, you'll realize that you do have those skills and you'll have an idea of how to identify them a little bit here. And you'll understand that anybody can do this. Like you're not, if you're watching this on YouTube, you know, you're not looking at rocket scientists here. Like we can do it. You can do this.
If I can do it. And I was one of those ones that was
a rocket scientist.
No, I wasn't. I wished I was a rocket scientist or a brain surgeon or one of those ones that people, oh, it's not brain surgery. But, had got into that situation where all of a sudden I was unemployed. I needed to do something. Yep. And
I said that's a horrible way to do it. But the more I think about it, that might be a great way to do it. That puts a lot of urgency behind what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that I would wish that on anyone, but that definitely, especially in my case, like that put a lot of urgency and you start setting goals pretty quick.
Yes, you do. When there's no longer that steady money flow. Mm-hmm. And so, a lot of this, discussion is how to identify those skills and identify what you might want to do or how you could turn some sort of a skill, a hobby, just something you like into an income opportunity.
It doesn't have to be because you lost your job and you want to go work for yourself. It doesn't even have to be because you want to start a business. It could be just because you want to earn an extra X amount of money every month or you want to make enough money. Like we talked earlier, what Ken and I did, maybe you just want to make enough money to pay one of your bills.
Yeah.
It could be for any reason to start a side hustle or a business on the side. So it really is for everybody. Maybe you just want to pay off a credit card.
Yeah.
You do have the skills to do it
for that duration. Or we were talking about that with like, everybody has a cell phone. Everybody has that cell phone bills and, those go up and change and new phone. You want to get a new phone after you've paid off your phone and that bill goes way down to just a monthly thing. Then you want to get a new phone. Then that payment goes way up. Even just something like that. We were talking, you could even use your phone. You could do something with your phone every day as a little business to help pay that phone bill. And
a lot of people do.
Let's talk about it. How can one identify, or what are some examples of that might make people go, yeah, I can do this?
I don't know. I'm here for suggestions.
You want me to make? Well, no,
there's a lot of ways. I think we talked. I guess I'll give a sneak peek for another business that I started because I do that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I created kind of a set of questions and a set of kind of a process to get from just ask yourself a bunch of questions to find the perfect side hustle for you. Like what's the one that's perfect for you? It fits your schedule, it fits your budget, it fits your personality and your skills and your interests. And in doing that, I kind of unleashed it on my family first.
Okay.
Which is something I often do with a new business. They're the first ones to be annoyed by it.
Okay.
But so I basically ran through those questions with my kids, my oldest daughter and my youngest daughter. And by the time they were done, they had both started a new side hustle and they're both making money. I know we talked a little bit about Hannah in the last episode.
Yeah.
And we were going through and just asking basic questions. What are you interested in? What are some things that people come to you for help with? So what are you good at? What do other people think you're good at? What do you think you're good at? How much time do you have every week to invest in a side hustle? Maybe you only have an hour a week.
Yeah.
And just compile a bunch of questions like that to try to figure out where those mesh together. Where can you make all that work together? And it's not, I don't think without a psychology degree, you could really put those points all together and say, this is the job you should do.
Yeah.
So we used AI to compile all those into a set of prompts for AI that would say, okay, we could put all these together into one thing. And here's a list of things that you could do with that. And it worked really good. I mean, it worked really well.
And so you had said that they took this, and when we were talking, they both your daughters had went through this, and they're both making money already. Like after taking this thing as a side hustle, something that they're trying to get into to see if they like it. Because we were talking about not everything. Maybe you do come up with an idea that something. Oh, I have this great skill and I can do this, but once I started to do it, we kind of talked about that with hobbies last week, is you take a hobby that you really enjoy doing, and then it becomes a job and it's no longer fun. And it's like, I don't want to do this. I want to change
it. And it was never meant to help you start a business. It's not that at all. It was designed to help you compile all your interests and skills into one spot and think of different things you could try. So think of it like test driving cars. It doesn't tell you to go make a logo or find a business name or anything else. It talks you through, these are the things you could do. Now go take this one thing and go do it for one person and make that first $100 and see if you like it or if you hate it. And then go back to the drawing board and do one of the other ones if you didn't like it. But it's just a way to test drive side hustles that are not just different side hustles, but are actually tailored to you. So you have the best possible chance of succeeding.
Okay.
And that's, one of the things that my youngest, one of the things that she's going through, and she's like, well, nobody asked me to do anything. I'm not someone people come to for things. And I'm like, that's not true. Like last week I needed a Canva template made for a document I was doing. And I asked her if she could help make it because she's always in Canva.
Okay.
So we put that in. And one of the things it came up with, it was for her to do Canva templates for people on like Fiverr or Upwork.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that she started doing, is doing Canva templates on Upwork. And she's passing $1,000 in her first month. And that kind of expanded to making Canva templates, to making slideshows for people, like presentations. They give her all the information. They say, we just want it to look pretty. So she just went and signed up for an Upwork account. And that's what she's doing.
And
but it's something she would have never thought of.
Yeah. And so she took that. She didn't have any, I guess, either confidence that she did, or she didn't think that she had a skill set
exactly what it was,
that would transfer over into making money. And I liked what you said too, is like, always, and that's something that you talk about a lot, is make that first $100, do something. It's not starting out the business right away with this goal of, I'm going to start and I'm going to pay all my bills. I'm going to do, I'm going to do everything. It's starting with that one bill, or make $100. Some people might say, oh, $100, that's not that exciting. That's not that much, but
means I don't have to pay the water bill this week.
Yeah. That's where we started talking about that. When you put it into real world, applications, if you made that $100 and that paid the water bill, that's one bill that you didn't have to pay. And that's more money that you have in your account that I don't know how people, work their accounts, but
even more importantly to that, it gives you the confidence that you did that. You did it once, and you did it at a small scale with one person. So if you could do that once without a business name, without creating a business, you don't have a logo and a website, you haven't even tried to build a business yet. You just said, today I'm a plumber, and you fixed a faucet and you made $100. So imagine what you could do if you decided, I like this. I'm actually going to go be a plumber and start a business. Like, then you can worry about growing it. But it's just a way to test drive through them as fast as possible, to find, not just, it refines your list so you're only doing things that fit you. But then it also lets you take that list and go test drive them to find the one that you love, that you feel most comfortable with. And I think that's why it worked. When they got done with it, I mean, it took them 30 minutes to complete. When they got done with it, they were both excited. They were both on their computers. They were starting like, I'm going to do this right now. Like, that was cool to see.
And I guess that's something like, well, we might have to dive into that a little bit deeper, like next episode, Cory,
like about show the process.
Show the process. Some of those things, right now, something that somebody could start to do, to think about, just take a few minutes. We talked about pro and con lists. We talk about, after this episode, take a minute and just list some of your skills, some of the skills that you think that you have, or like Cory said, something as simple as, you're a good listener. You're a good, you have some skill, something that you could teach somebody else. Maybe you're a really good, you make cupcakes really good, better than everybody. You take cupcakes and, oh, these are so great. How do you make your icing? How do you make, that's something that you could either
and
start
write it
selling
down,
cupcakes.
write it down, even if you think that's not something I would want to do. If it's a skill, write it down, because the answer it comes up with at the end, you may be great at doing cupcakes. Maybe you're great at decorating cupcakes, but you're like, I'm not going to do a bakery. I'm not going to do this. AI is very good at taking a skill that you have and turning it into something completely different. Maybe you don't decorate cupcakes. Maybe you create cupcake decorating kits. And it's very good at thinking outside of the box and connecting the dots for you. I would also say, when you go to try and answer those questions, what am I good at? What do people come to me for help with? What are my skills? What are my interests? You're very critical of yourself, and it's hard to think of on your own. So call someone that knows you well and ask them those questions about you, and have them answer for you, because you'll find you'll get a whole different set of answers.
And the last thing I want to do is call people and ask them what they think of me, Cory. Horrible idea.
No, I'm telling you, it works. You get a whole different set of answers.
Well, I know when Cory and I talk on the phone a lot, it's when I think, just like, say, just doing this podcast, for example, and starting new businesses, and I don't have that experience that Cory does in all of the different businesses. And it's like, sometimes I might not feel as confident, or it's like, oh, what am I going to talk about on this topic? And as we talk it through, it's like, by the end, I have like this, oh yeah, I guess I do have that skill, or that, something that I can bring up that I have done, or a story about somebody that I know that could be applied to.
Yeah, there's more there than you think there is.
And just, I keep going back to having that confidence, to be your own boss, the confidence some of that was in the decision making last week, but building that confidence and realizing, I said this, you don't have to be an expert on day one of something. You build on these, you try stuff out.
I think that's why this process works. I think, like, what they did, what my girls did with it, I think that's why it worked, because it takes all the pressure off. You're not trying to start a business. You're not trying to do anything like that. You're just trying to identify something you can do, that you have the skills or the interest in doing, that you have the capability of doing, and that you have the time and the budget to do. And you go see if you could do it once. Just go do it one time and see if you can accomplish the task. You're not starting a business, so there's no pressure. Like, you're not going out trying to sign people up for a year-long contract to do their snow removal or anything like that. You're going to do one thing, scoop one driveway. And I mean, it takes all the pressure out. So you don't have to be as confident. You're not trying to build the entire business today. You're just going to see if you like it or not. You're test driving a side hustle. And I really do think that's why it worked so well. And because it's so tailored to you. When they were done and they had their results, they were like, I want to do all these. Like, I want to go do all these now.
And try. And get that excitement to do. Anytime you can make money from something that you've done personally, and, decide that, you made that $100 that month, and celebrate that success, or that, that accomplishment.
I think giving yourself the permission to pivot from that too. That doing it this way gives you permission to say, nah, I didn't like it. It's just like test driving a car. You go drive that Toyota, you're like, nah, not for me. I'm going to go try the Ford. You could try it, and you're not locked into anything. And that's like my oldest daughter, when she did hers, like, the thing she got most excited about is she wanted to do, like, like the snack boxes or bark boxes they send out every month.
Oh, see, I love this story. This was the story that just got me whooped about your other daughter, and what she took this, just kind of analyzing herself.
Pivot.
Analyzing what her interest, what she was already doing maybe not every day, but most days,
a lot of days
that she enjoyed. So I want to hear about this. I want to hear this story again, because I think it's inspirational, and it's like, it makes you go, oh, yeah, I could do that.
Yep.
Not the exact thing, but something similar.
She stays at home right now. She's a stay-at-home mom, but she does a greeting card business. She does wedding invitations and wedding suites and stuff like that. But she also has 2 young kids, the oldest one being almost 2 now. So she's doing crafts with the older one all the time. So one of the things that the process told her she could try was to do like those bark boxes or snack boxes, like send out a monthly box and sell those to people for crafts for toddlers. And she got all excited about it and she wanted to do it. And as she started digging into it, she's like, well, I don't want to hold the inventory and I don't want to deal with the shipping and I don't want to do this part of it.
Yeah.
And she realized that while she was really excited about it, there was pieces of it she didn't like. So she pivoted.
Yeah.
And she did her next craft, which she gets all her stuff from Amazon, all the beads or whatever they're using, the cotton balls or whatever.
Yeah.
When she did her next craft, she ordered every piece of it from Amazon and she did her craft with her girl. And then she documented how they did it as they were doing it. And she created a PDF and put the Amazon affiliate links for all the things she bought on Amazon. And then she started sharing that out for free to all her mom groups on Facebook, which she's in a bunch of them. So when people are asking, what crafts do you guys do with your kids? She shares that out and it's free. And then they go buy all the Amazon links and she makes affiliate money on it. So she's already making affiliate money off of them. And she's just giving them out. Every time she does one, she makes a new PDF.
And see, that just, again, and that can be anything. This just so happens to be crafts with your kids that you were having fun. And she probably was going into all these groups of Facebook groups or wherever she was going to find these other crafts.
That's where she was finding half her crafts anyway.
Yeah. And so her kind of side hustle with that is I guess the effort that it takes to make the PDF or document the steps. Hey, I bought these supplies and this is how we glued them together and this. And I'm sure she probably adds a little bit of fun about, how the kids
she's already
enjoyed the project. And
she already makes wedding invitations and stuff. So she has some design skill. Like she's good at making things look nice.
Yeah.
So making a PDF that looks nice was not a challenge for her. It's just something that it kind of evolved into that. Well, I know how to make things look nice and put them in a file that I can send people.
Yeah.
Now, how do I monetize it? And then she got to thinking about the affiliate links, and so she did that. And it's not a ton of money. It's not a ton of money, but she's making money every month off of it now. And it's not a bunch, but it's very little effort too. I mean, it's something she's doing anyway.
It's links. And then, so then we were talking, that leads down to, I don't know how to do, I know what affiliate links are. I don't know how to set up an affiliate link to be able to go out and find all of these things. And which we kind of were joking. Okay. It's a simple Google search. How do I set up, or go to Amazon and ask that question.
Well, we talked about that. But we talked about that in the last episode too. That's your job. If you're going to do a side hustle or be a business owner, that's literally your job title is to problem solve. You have to be able to solve those little problems. Like I don't know how to set up an affiliate account on Amazon. Google does.
Yeah.
And that's a very easy problem to solve.
Google does. And we kind of joke that there's, you could probably make money off of people that just don't go Google it. Okay, let's say I put together a document or skill, or I'll show you how to set up an affiliate link on Amazon and charge for it. I know that's maybe not the best example, but it's like, there's something everywhere.
I'll bet you money if you go on Fiverr and look for a course on setting up Amazon affiliate, there's a course for sale on Fiverr for it. I'll bet you there is. There is a course for the most ridiculous stuff and people buy it because if you've done anything, if you've painted a wall in your house, there's a million people out there that have never painted it that want confirmation. They want to see somebody else do it first and they'll pay for it. Like you can sell anything.
Yeah. It just, that story of your daughter, cause I like doing, crafty sort of projects and stuff like that. And I know my girlfriend, Jill, she does a lot of that sort of stuff. And just doing showing the steps, you're doing it all anyway. And if you just take some time to document it, then make that, and she's making money off affiliate. She has no inventory. She doesn't have to do anything, but get
once
somebody
the sheet's made,
somehow to share click.
Yeah, she could share that sheet 100 times in 100 different groups. I mean, once she has it, it's done.
And it's like, okay, there again, how do you create that PDF with clickable links in it? You got to do that effort. Google knows how to do that, but I'm sure that there's also, you could make up a little program or not a program, you know what I mean? Like a tutorial, something that you charge for. Hey, here's how you make a link.
And I think she's doing all hers
and distribute it out. And
I think she's doing all hers just straight from Canva. Like she's just making the PDF right from Canva. So she's creating the document with the links and then she just downloads it as a PDF. So it's, I mean, it's really not a difficult thing.
It was just exciting to me to hear that she had kind of went through these steps that you were talking about, and identified some of her interests, some of the things that she was already doing every day. And it's like, oh, that's a skill. That's a sellable skill, or some way that I can make money. And that, she just got excited. Well, I like that she got excited about, I'm going to make up all these craft boxes and I'm going to ship them out to people. I'm going to start a website, or I'm going to start a place where they have to order these things, and I'm going to fulfill the orders, all the way to, I'm still going to make money, but I don't have to do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Which is
it didn't take her long to pivot. I mean, when she hit a roadblock that was like, okay, that's a part that I'm not wanting to do.
Yeah.
Because she had nothing invested in it but a few hours of thinking. She was very easily just able to say, I still love this idea. Can I do it differently? And completely pivot.
Yeah.
And you had nothing to lose, like absolutely nothing to lose from it.
And I think that process of just thinking it through, of writing down some of those skills and making the pros and cons lists and all of that stuff. And then if you get excited about it, excitement helps build confidence. For sure,
it does,
and can help overcome. A lot of things are, people think they lack the knowledge, or they lack the skill, or they truly just lack the confidence, and a lot of that is fear. And there was one quote that we came up with, and actually I might make a new sign. Like here, I have these ones that kind of this, make enough money to stay unemployed, was about that fear and the confidence. And it was, confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's the willingness to try anyway. And it's that I'm going to make a t-shirt. I'm going to sell those t-shirts. There you go. I just had a business.
I think they say that about bravery too, don't they?
Bravery isn't the absence of fear.
It's the willing to do it anyway. It might be, they might have stole that.
They might have.
It works for both. But it works for both. Be brave and be confident.
Yes, but I just when I read that on a sheet, or when Cory and I were talking about that it, because I'm not a risk taker. We talked about the risk tolerance and stuff. I am not a risk taker. I'll do stuff when I need to do it. But I also get myself very comfortable in whatever situation that I'm in. Like right now that I'm doing, the reselling and stuff. And it's like we even talked about that, about whether I actually started my own business or whether I just created another job for myself.
Oh God, that was a long conversation.
that was. And as I got thinking about it, it's like, yeah, I actually did just create a job for myself. It is, I run it like a business. As my business, I have the accounting and the financing, and I have the decisions and all of that stuff. But what I did, I'm unemployed, being employed for myself, which is kind of another job or whatever, but I don't take all of those risks. I'm not going to jump out there and spend a bunch of money. Cause I think when people think they're going to start another business, or start a business, or even a side hustle, I guess there's a lot of differences between starting a business and doing a side hustle to make extra money, and then turning that side hustle into something where you can be unemployed for a living.
I don't think I would advocate for anybody to go out there and just start a business without testing the waters, which is kind of what this gives you the permission and the ability to do. It really lets you put your toes in and see, because I've had a lot of great ideas that I thought were the best idea in the world. And then when I do them, I'm like, I hate this. I don't like this part of it. There's one part or two parts that I'm just like, I can't do this. I won't do this.
Are you talking about marriage?
No, that one's stuck.
I'm trying to get Cory in trouble.
That one's stuck. I love you, honey.
Yeah. I don't even know, because we talk about things, and it seems like in some of the these episodes so far, we kind of go around and around and saying the same thing, but our topics are trying to kind of compact them into.
Try to do this before next episode. Maybe that's what we'll do next episode, is we'll walk you through the process and how to make it work.
Yes.
But before the next episode, try to start writing down and thinking of things like, what am I good at? What do other people think I'm good at? Or what do they come to me for help with? Yeah. What are your skills that you know of? what are your interests? Like what things excite you right now? Or what things have you been the most excited about in the last 6 months? Yeah. Think about what your budget is. If you want to start a new side hustle, do you have $50 to throw at it? Do you have $100 to throw at it?
Yeah.
Think about your time commitment. Are you able to commit an hour a week? Maybe an hour a day? Like, what's your time commitment like that you could put into it? Think of things like, are you an introvert or an extrovert? That's going to make a difference in what you do. You're not going to go door to door and sell something if you're an introvert. You're going to go crazy.
Yes.
So think of that. How do you like to work? Do you like to work with others? Do you like to work by yourself? Like, start writing that kind of stuff down. And then next week we'll show you how to kind of put it together. And I used AI because I'm telling you, if you haven't jumped into AI yet, like, don't sit around and wait on it. It is amazing the connections that it can make that you just wouldn't make yourself. Like, it got me excited about 3 or 4 things I wouldn't have thought about in a million years. I would have never thought about it. But it connected all the dots of all the information I gave it and said, those all line up with this. You could do this thing with all those skills and interests and budget and your personality and all that.
The more that you put
it's an amazing
into
tool.
The like, for example, the Chat GPT is usually one that I use, and you hear a lot of people talk about that one. It's really, really popular. And I'm pretty basic at that. I'm asking it simple questions, but just a wealth of information that it gives me back that makes you start to think. And I'm not even talking about anything with doing a job or doing a thing. I was talking about doing a video for on my other show over on my channel, Ken vs. 10, of going around to different coffee places, your Starbucks and your Tim Hortons and all those, and doing a taste test of hot chocolates. I'm not a coffee drinker.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't think you like coffee.
No, I don't. I don't like coffee, but I've been getting all these gift cards for like Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts and stuff. And it's like, well, I'm not going to really drink coffee, but it's cold. It's, been freezing cold out there. I can get these hot chocolates. Right. And so I want to try to transfer that and do it to a relatable video on YouTube to put on my channel or to talk about. And so I went into Chat GTP and I just said, hey, I want to make a YouTube video about comparing hot chocolates at different, the national places. Boom. All of a sudden it spit out all this stuff that was these great ideas that I hadn't thought about before of how to make the video, how to present the video, some of the elements that you would do. And then it might follow up with a question. How what do you want to do? Would you like some more info on this? Well, no, but I like this point that you made right here. Tell me more about that. And you just get in this rabbit hole. And
the more you dig, the better it is too. I will say the more you dig, like, you're talking even at a basic level, even, was it 2 days ago? Basic. I called you in the middle of the afternoon. I'm like, you're not going to believe what AI just did.
I know. And I'm not going to spoil that, but Cory was super excited. I'm like, damn, I would have never thought
I could not believe it was capable of doing it. And not only doing it, but doing it better than I could do it. And it did it like in 2 seconds, it was done. And it's something that helped my business that I'm in now.
Yeah. Boy, that's I
really doesn't matter what business you're in. It really doesn't matter what business you're in.
Yeah.
There is a use case for AI that will save you time and make you better at your job, no matter what business you're in. I had AI write an email the other day. I started telling you about this too. I got a spam email from somebody.
Yeah, I love this story.
Trying to promote a product to me that they wanted me to pay $100 to come watch this video conference or whatever. And it was just a spam email. So instead of deleting it, it didn't, like, immediately when I saw it, I was like, that's junk mail, and I was going to delete it. And I was like, hold on, why didn't it convert? Why didn't I want to click on this? So I used AI to dissect the email and tell me what was wrong with it and why it didn't make me want to buy. And then I used that information to write them an email back and tell them what was wrong with their email. And I didn't tell you this. Teresa was laughing at me on the way home last night because they emailed back and they gave me a free ticket to that video conference.
Really?
Because they appreciated the email and they're going to steal the ideas and use them to help their email sequence work better. And they gave me a free $100 ticket to the video.
What? Okay. So what was just kind of being
I was just being facetious.
Yeah. I was going to say pricky, but hey, facetious works.
Yep.
You know,
I was trolling a spammer. but it actually worked. And it is a video conference on something I'm interested in. It was on marketing. It was just a horrible spam mail, the typical canned spam mail. And AI at this point, like my Midwest pandemic life of a Midwesterner up there is kind of a sarcastic, snarky, funny analogy type humor in that book, the way it's written. And I just uploaded that whole book to AI and I said, anytime I write something, write it in this tone and this style. So now if I have to have it write an email, it writes it kind of like a smart ass, and they're hilarious and they're good. And they were like, yeah, we're stealing this.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, available on Amazon, by the way.
Available on Amazon. It's not good, but it's available on Amazon.
It is. No, it's good. Everybody I know that's read it, it's a great book. But that's what. Now your email. Now this one you wrote. I mean, there's a lot of EIEIO AI.
It is a little farmy.
So there's a lot of. That, you know, nowadays it's hard to tell what's real and what's AI and all of that stuff. But those were.
Keep talking. I'm looking for something.
But yeah, I love the, you know, maybe in that next episode, when we're going to, so, you know, we're not going to be teaching AI or whatever, but I think that we can show how you can use some of these things to build the confidence, find out what skills that you have, and then
take it past that initial basic answer that it gives you and make it useful. I think that's what if we can help them with that, I think that'd be great. Matter of fact, we'll just lay it out the way I do in my other business. We'll just challenge you guys. We'll lay it down. It's a 30-day challenge. Write down this stuff that we kind of talked about in the show, and then next week we'll walk you through the whole process. And over the next 30 days, you let us know if you can make your first $100 doing something as a side gig. And I guarantee if you put the effort into it, you'll definitely do it. There's almost no way you wouldn't do. I have two daughters that both did it. And one of them's 20 and the other one's like 28. And they both did it in the first 2 weeks. They made money.
Yeah. And again, those, if it's $100, you know, whatever, your water bill's $38. If you could pay that bill just doing something that you like to do, that you could convert over. And I'm not talking about starting full businesses with tax ID numbers and all of that stuff. Now you have to pay, you're supposed to pay taxes on all that stuff, but that's not our,
no, don't.
don't.
So I think that's
Cory
a good
from Graham's.
Yeah, don't take tax advice from us. I think that's a great episode for next episode. Our next episode is a challenge to you guys. If you're listening to this and you'd like to try to make $100 in the next 30 days, tune in for the next episode, because I think that's what we'll just do, the 30-day challenge right the next episode. Yeah,
and I might even take that myself, doing $100 in something different than what I'm doing, because I know I could make $100 like, you know, I resell, and I could list some of these certain things that might sell, or I could go on one of the live selling platforms and I could make $100 tonight doing that. But that's what I do. But I'm excited. I love that story about your daughter that she's crafting with her kids. She's doing that anyway. It's something that she has fun with and is able to take that thing with minimal effort. And, you know, somebody else is clicking on links and buying stuff from someplace. And I'm excited. I'm going to go figure out, or I'm going to figure it out, or I'm just going to ask Cory, hey, how do I set up an affiliate link on Amazon?
I'm going to say, Google it.
Google it. And
or ask AI. AI could tell you too.
They could. Yes. And I don't know. I'm excited myself.
Well, it got me. Like it got me excited trying to make the challenge, like trying to make that. I actually used AI to write a program to make it easier for us for my other business. And in the case of like trying to build that business, AI completely changed what that business was. It started out as something totally different. And then by using AI more and more, it completely flipped that business upside down into something else. And it got me really excited about it. And by doing that, it got me back into building websites and doing other things.
Yeah.
And then this afternoon, I'm sitting around and I built us a website.
Yeah. Yeah. Unemployedforaliving.com.
So you can stream all your episodes right from our website if you like to.
Right from there, links to the audio, that sort of stuff. You could sign up for the membership. Cory, we didn't mention the membership. You're going to get that sticker. You're going to get early access to the episodes before they come out to the general public. Who knows what other little surprises. Plus, you're going to be able to give your thoughts and your ideas on shows, on upcoming shows for new episodes and things of that nature. So if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a little join button down there someplace. It's cheap. You're going to get, that sticker sent out, the break room, we call it, hanging out in the break
get
room.
what you pay for.
No, it's good value. But if you're just listening on the audio side, go over to YouTube or go to the website, right? Can they join the membership from the website?
There's a button at the top of the website to join the membership. Yep.
Which is cool. And we appreciate the support. And if you're not ready to jump in and join the membership, click the thumbs up. Click the thumbs up on this video right here. Subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. All of that helps. We appreciate that. And
we should probably say, even if you don't come back for next week's 30-day challenge, if you're not interested in doing that, I think the point of this episode is that you do have the skills, you do have the interests, you do have the ability to do your own side hustle. They are in there. I think connecting the dots is the point that most people kind of miss on. They're not connecting the dots. And AI has really kind of woken me up to the fact that there's a lot of dots we just can't see.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to get external help to connect those dots, but they're in there. Like, I'm convinced anybody can do this.
Yeah. Can make $100 in
anybody.
Or $50, or hey, maybe something you do all of a sudden you get $500, you got $1,000, you got whatever.
Maybe you're disabled and your restraint is that you have to do it from a wheelchair from your living room. Like, there is something out there you could do. I promise you, there's something for everyone.
Well, and we were, when we were chit-chatting earlier on the phone, and we were talking about, it's not about starting that full-on business, and you're not going to start like a welding business and go buy a full mobile welding rig, truck and all of that stuff and go in debt right away. There's so many different avenues to start even a business.
There's a progression
if you have those skills. And those are things that we're going to, talk about as time goes by. I don't know. I get excited, and it's like when we talk we just need to record our phone conversations. Cory,
I'm terrified for next week.
Okay.
Because every time I've gone through that process, that 30-day challenge process, it only takes about 10-15 minutes to go through completely, even if you have to think them out. Every time I've gone through it, I've gotten really excited to go try something else, and I don't have the bandwidth for another one right now. I do not. Like, we're going to have to use Ken's interests and stuff, because I just don't have the bandwidth for another side hustle right now. I've got so many of them going.
Oh, now I'm dreading next week's. I have to. What are you interested in, Ken?
Oh, we'll pull it out of you. That's the great thing about it. We'll pull it out of you.
But the confidence and the skills, you have it in there, even if you don't think that you do. And again, maybe I'll make that sign for next week. Confidence isn't the absence of fear, because again, I have not lack of confidence, and I don't even know that I would say that it is fear. It's just,
then what's your problem?
I'm not the risk taker. My butt.
You are very calculating. Yeah.
And I do, I talk, about how if you're,
I think
how I might fail. It's okay. I want to know, what is it?
I think I know what it is.
What?
I thrive on change. I want change all the time. I want chaos. I thrive on it. And you are very comfortable. You don't like change. Like, you like the stability of the same thing.
I do.
Every day. You probably have the same coffee cup from 10 years ago. Like, I thrive on change, and you like the very stable, everything's the same.
I am.
Yet another area where we're completely different.
And I think there's a lot of people that are like me. Well, there's a lot of people like you, and there's not. I think there's a lot of people like me that don't want to get that. Get comfortable in a situation. They don't want to jump out there, whether that's fear. I have lots of confidence. I have delusions of grandeur, Cory. I have lots of confidence in myself. But when it comes to those financial matters or those things like that, it's like, I don't want to either mess with something that's working. I'm not one to jump out on a limb. But as we've been talking about stuff, I've been getting more excited about that. It doesn't have to, you don't have to buy the full rig welding truck or whatever. You can start with some affiliate links, if you like these things. And that's, that how starting something new, I'm always a guy that wants to think it through, and I have to be ready. I have to have every possible thing thought through, and that just stifles those decisions.
It's funny because
and we talked about that last week with
we had a conversation on the phone this week, and Ken was like, man, I just wish I could jump into things like you do. And I'm like, shut up, Ken. I just wish I could stay with one thing like you do. Like there's not a grass is greener on either side. Like they both have their pros and cons list. But it's just funny because Ken has the skills I wish I had, and I have the skills Ken wishes he had, or traits, not skills.
Traits, yeah.
And it looks greener on the other side for both of us. So it doesn't matter what side of the screen you relate to. Like there's the other side's not any better. There's anybody can do this no matter what side. Well, come on now.
I don't know, but yeah, you don't. I get that confidence about as we talk through these things and these different processes of not having to feel ready to do something. We talked about last week about that 80%. You just got to kind of get 80% there, and the rest will work it out. And
we also talked at one time about you work well under pressure. Like you procrastinate, and then when it's an emergency, you do really well and you work well under pressure.
Yes.
You can create that artificially by doing something before you're ready. Just do it. Just do it small and messy and do it.
When it comes to financial or whatever, I'm very hesitant about that stuff. Yeah, it is just money. And I think about that
I agree.
more and more.
I agree with you on that.
But
it's a harder decision when it digs into your pocketbook.
It is. But I'm also finding out or thinking this through that it doesn't have to impact your pocketbook or your wallet right away. It's if you can get to that point, and make, not even if it's a quick $100. Maybe it takes you 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months to make that first $100. If you're enjoying what you're doing along the way, and you're seeing that, hey, this 100 is going to be 500, and then it's going to be 1,000, and then it's going to be 10,000.
Yeah, I was going to say
then I'm going to quit my job, and then I'm going to do, there's an excitement there. And
if it takes you 2 months to make that first $100, that's not a forecast. That doesn't mean it's going to take you 2 months to make every $100. That's proof of concept that you can make this $100. You can always grow and scale and optimize and do that better and bigger if it's something you like. I think the important part is start small, figure out the little problems, and make that one customer, the first customer. Just get that one under your belt and find out. Then step back and say, what did I learn from this? Do I like it? Do I hate it? Can I do something different? Should I do something completely different? Like learn from that one customer and then go learn from your next. And then, then before you know it, you're there.
Maybe all you need is $100. I just need $100 and I'm done.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I don't know, but hopefully we didn't talk around in circles too much because, it's so many things that run through my head when I think of these topics. And today that we were trying to talk about that you can take skills or you don't have a lack of skills. Everything that you have is some sort of skill. Any job that you've ever done, whether it's working or just something around the house, there is a skill that can be turned into something. And just having that confidence in those skills and being confident in the decision or how to get that confidence to make that decision. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Ken's assessment test said he needs to be a DJ. Go back to DJing.
Yeah. Hey, welcome in. No, not a radio DJ. Good morning to you.
Oh, you'd be good on a morning show.
It's 48 degrees here in the big city. Yeah, I probably so. But yeah, I was a great party DJ. I was. And that was something, again, I didn't really think about that having been a side hustle. It was because I was always my thoughts was I was in my career. And this is just something that I did on the side. And kind of back then when I was doing this, it really wasn't like the whole side hustle. Everything's a side hustle nowadays. It's just, hey, something I did that I made money at.
You learned a lot from it, though. If you look back on it, you learned how to deal with a crowd, how to keep people excited, like how to keep the mood up. Like you learned a ton from that. I know you did. You couldn't
scheduling, timing, loading, unloading. What
you
do
still haven't learned that. I've been doing a podcast with you long enough to know scheduling and timing. You still haven't learned.
Hey, I'm here though on the right night. Might not be the right time, but I'm here on the
you were
right
actually
night.
You were on time tonight. I can't complain. I'm just giving you a hard time. You were on time tonight.
It was. But so Cory, I'm gonna leave the folks with this. Confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's the willingness to try anyway.
So try anyway.
And make enough money to stay
to
unemployed.
Give me some.
Yeah. Cory's his own affiliate link. Cory is
Click me.
You probably have an affiliate link in our description, don't you? Just to send you money.
Not yet, but I might. I'll have to put one there. Well, I do. It's the join button. But it doesn't send me money yet. It'll send Ken money so he can pay for the StreamYard.
There you go. To pay for all of this stuff. So, hey, have a great week. Join us next week. Jot that stuff down. Start thinking about it. What are some skills? What are some things that you like? What do you do? And we're going to dig a little bit deeper into that
30-day challenge for you.
30-day challenge of how to
you're gonna test drive some stuff
and maybe make $100 and
don't worry if you're already doing something. If you're already got a side hustle, if you're already got your own thing, do it anyway. I mean, that's why they call it a side hustle. You could do it on the side, make an extra $100, and you never know what you're going to love doing next.
Exactly. And we'll kick that all around next week on
this podcast.
Unemployed for a living.